People of God, listen, I want to say something. That is not love, that is envy. That is not love, that is envy. Let me tell you what I mean by that, right? Sometimes people can help you and hurt you at the same time. And they can say that they love you and they can do nice things for you. But that may be because they didn't get to have their way with you in the situation, that the traps that they've set for you previously didn't turn out how they wanted them to turn out for you, right? And in order for them to try and finish the job or break you down even more, they have to pretend that they love you, and they may do nice things for you, seemingly nice things, right? But when they come around you, for example, they may seemingly do nice things for you because that's the plan that's the method that they've chosen to carry out the plan in order to regain your trust so that they can finish doing the work or whatever it is that they want to do against you, or, or destroy relationships to isolate you. Well, you'll begin to discern it and see it. For one, the things that they do, they won't be things that lift burdens off of you. And for two, when that spirit of envy is still there, they will never encourage you. You will never feel encouraged by someone who truly envies you. You will never feel supported or uplifted. For example, they could come around you and they can, let's say you're doing something, and they see the things that you're doing. It could be something very marvelous. Well, they'll come around you and they may tell you or bring up other people that you don't even know and show you what other people are doing and talk about other people and brag on other people in your presence or to you, like if it's nothing, but you're doing the same thing, and they may never make any mention of whatever it is you're doing. That's envy. That's envy. Yeah. And that's a bold, envious spirit, to be in your presence and to bring up the accomplishments or bring up something that you're doing, but someone else is doing the exact same thing, folk that you don't even know, but to bring them up in your presence, in your face, and try and shine light or on what they're doing to you when you're actually doing the same thing, but to just, act as if they don't discuss anything about you. That's envy. That's envy. And that's a bold, envious spirit. That's a spirit that you need to cut off without even explaining yourself. Cut it off. And who cares what's said about you at that point? That's a broken soul, a broken spirited individual that's bold enough to go into the atmosphere of someone else and just try to, overlook you. It's not that you're looking for them to praise you or to acknowledge you in any type of way, but when they come into your atmosphere, that's personal. And when they bring up something or praise someone that you don't even know, to you it's like, what are you telling me that for? Because they want to make you think less of whatever it is you're doing. They don't want you to feel special in any type of way. For someone to deliberately, something that you're doing, and they find someone else that's doing the same thing, and they'll get into your presence and put this person in your face and start bragging on them or, complimenting them. It doesn't make sense, right? It's kind of weird. It makes sense to them because they know what they're doing. Cut that envious spirit off. That is not love. That is envy. Cut that spirit off. It ain't going to lead you down no right path. It ain't going to help you stay on the strong and narrow. It's going to give you bad advice. That's another thing. Let's say you may not even be asking advice. That envious spirit will give you unsolicited advice, but it will be negative advice. Let's say you were doing something or you were excited about something and your decision that you're thinking about taking, and you just start talking about it and sharing it. And when you're excited, oftentimes before you even complete what you're saying, that spirit will probably try to cut you off and start giving you advice, and you're like, they may not even hear the gist of what you're saying. And then if you listen to what they're trying to tell you to do, it may be something that doesn't benefit you. That's an envious spirit. That is not love. That is envy. cut the spirit off. The spirit. Cut the spirit off. All right? We're grown. We all know what we say, what we do. We must be held accountable for the right and wrong on the inside of us. And there are some folk who know that they are operating wrong and they don't want to be right. So at the end of the day, you can't do nothing about it but cut the spirit off so that that spirit does not continue to sow into your life. Because that's what every word that proceeded out of their mouth and penetrates your ears, it sows into your life. It makes your heart feel some type of way. It affects you. Because if it's not making you feel joy, it's grieving your spirit. It's sucking, zapping your energy out of you. And who knows, they may be, if you're on the phone with them, if they call you trying to pour that poison in your ear, they may be on the other side of the phone laughing, waiting to hear you get frustrated. Waiting to hear you get frustrated so that their wicked hearts can rejoice and go on in life. They on a road, they traveling on a road that leading to nowhere. They ain't going nowhere. But they spend time trying to craft, allowing the devil to use them to craft against you, to be crafty against you. They want to see your finances drained. They don't have nothing. They can't never teach you how to save. They can't teach you how to save and be prosperous, live. They can't teach you how to be on the road to financial freedom and independence. They probably was never there. They probably don't even have that desire. You ever had somebody that had a whole lot to say, but they ain't going nowhere? How can the blind lead the blind? That's not love. That's envy. And you need to not take advice. You need to close your ears and cut that spirit off. Notice I say spirit. I ain't saying be mad at people, but spirits use people. So sometimes when you cut the spirit off, it requires you to distance yourself from that negative, toxic, demonic energy. It is what it is. And you don't got to explain yourself to nobody because a lot of people are not going to understand. And sometimes when you cut a demonic spirit like that off, then that individual will go and talk to so many people about you and act as if they don't know why you've cut them off. They will never tell you this. You will never know that they're doing this unless somebody eventually run across the righteous person with the spirit of righteousness in them that wants to get to the root of everything. And then eventually it may come out because the righteous person is going to say, well, let's fix it. And in order to fix something, you have to get to the root and expose what was brought to you, not to in a way of trying to cause problem, but in a way to trying to bring healing. And when you do that, then sometimes the whole truth begins to unravel and the light comes on situations and things that have been going on for a very long time that folk had no knowledge about, especially if you're a type of person where you just go on. You just go on. You ain't got to tell everybody. You just go on and do your own thing. And some people, they don't understand you, but when they hear certain talks about you, they still don't understand. Sometimes things take a long time that's been going on in the dark. Take a long time for some things to come to the light. But when they do, then that old wolf in sheep clothing, that old evil demonic snake spirit, it finally gets exposed. And sometimes it leaves you feeling sorry for folk like that. It leaves you feeling sorry for them. But sometimes I don't think some folk, they need to feel sorry for themselves and know not to do the things that they do. Treacherous things that they do. Yep. So they'll tell folk you probably ain't talking to them and all kind of stuff. But they won't tell folk why you stop talking to them, right? And don't you ain't got to explain that to folk neither. Let them figure it out. Let them sit back and watch you and get to learn your personality. Then if they got some righteousness in them, then they would eventually learn. But anyway, that is not love. That is envy. Love heals. Yeah. Love brings joy. Love brings comfort. Love supports. Yeah. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. Love forgives. Love understands. Love has grace and mercy. Have a blessed morning, people of God. That is not love. That is envy. Cut that envious spirit off.